Oh, it's Halloween in my soul.
Hi everyone, my name's Spencer and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you my bullet journal setup for the month of October, and of course I had to do something Halloween themed for this spooky season. I decided to go down the route of a haunted house, and as we go through the spreads we'll gradually get closer to finding out what's inside. To start with, I drew the silhouetted house in the distance. I didn't make this too detailed as I'm just going to colour the whole thing in black, since I was extremely tired after sketching the quote page and the ironwork gates, which took 2 days by the way. So I wanted to keep the actual house simple and keep the focus on the gates for now. Inside the main bulk of the gates, I drew my mini calendar for the month for me to refer back to. I worked really hard this month on the lettering for my titles and weekdays, since it was a goal I set myself last month, and this counts, right? I looked at a bunch of different ironwork gates for reference and followed the basic shape of those for my gates, but I deviated from these slightly for the more decorative parts. And whilst these would probably not impress any actual Victorian, they look just fine to me. Also, mine have bats.
It's freaking bats. I love Halloween.
I originally planned to put more decorative ironwork on the pillars either side of the gate, but I was unsure of this when I actually came to inking the page, so I left this to come back to it later. Because folks, if you have a problem, it's always best to ignore it for as long as possible. I filled the ironwork part of the gates with diamonds and curves that alternated direction with each rod. I then decided I didn't like the details on the pillars, so I covered them up in solid black. I think this helped make the gates bolder too. I also could not find my ruler anywhere in my stationery stash. For now I'm just using a Hotel Chocolat voucher I found lying around, which perhaps when we're actually free of plague I'll get round to using. Onto the quote page. I decided I wanted to do something somewhat autumnal, so I drew this big tree with leaves falling off of it, aesthetically. I'm really happy with this page, especially since my first BUJO spread in this journal was forest themed, and the trees were not great. So it's awesome to see how my drawing has improved since May. References, dear friends, references. Again, this is a very detailed page, but I love the overall effect. The leaves are sort of maple leaves, and I used my red Sakura brush pen and orange Crelando brush pen to colour them in. I tried a few techniques for the veins on the leaves, but I think my favourite was just using the O2 Uni Pin Fine Liner to draw the stalks and leave the finer details out. I also drew the outline last, and I really like the imperfect vibe this gave. My quote for this month is from John Keats's poem To Autumn. I shortened the quote by removing a line because I just didn't have enough room, but the full quote is, "Where are the songs of spring? Aye, where are they? Think not of them, thou hast thy music too." This is to remind me that, yes, spring and summer have ended, but autumn isn't the end of the world, and there are positives to be found here too. Again, I tried really hard with my lettering here, and I did a block letter style with similar shadows to the cursive I used before, and then for the words spring and music, I did the cursive style lettering. I also wrote these words using a gold metallic pen. I didn't want the words to look slapped onto the page, so I actually had the words going behind the leaves that I'd already drawn. For my monthly overview, I decided to do a double page spread as I have a lot going on this month. I just want to say that I'm pretty sure the thing that took the longest on all of my spreads was the lettering. I put personal things and work on one side, and my schedule for Instagram, YouTube, and my website on the other. Because I needed this page to be very clear, I kept the doodles to a minimum. Well, a minimum for me. I decided I would draw the stairs leading up to the door of the house as my calendar background, so it wouldn't interfere with anything and would give the impression of us gradually getting closer to the house. The next double page spread is for my goals and review page and my project tracker. The idea for this page is that I can just journal or thought dump my ideas and goals on the left hand side and then turn those into tasks I need to complete on the right hand side. Each project section on this tracker has a plan, draft and edit column for me to make notes and check things off. I was finding before that just writing complete project in my goal page wasn't entirely helpful, as there may be several steps towards completing said project, and I would have no record of that. In the middle of these two pages, I drew the front door of the haunted house, except we can't go in because it's boarded up. On each of the boards, I've written the work in progress title for each project. These are Project Revolution, which here is shortened to Project Revolt, which is a queer historical romance novel that I'm writing. Dragonskin Dress, which is my entry to the Foundations Revealed competition, which is on the theme of Once Upon a Time, and the design for this dress is actually on my Instagram if you want to go and have a look. And the final project is a visual novel game that I'm working on, but this is still very much in the early stages of development. I had so much fun designing this page, especially the deadline boxes, which I wanted to make look like eviction notices that had been ripped off. And because only Project Revolution has a specific deadline, since I'm writing the first draft of this in NaNoWriMo, the other deadline notices have been ripped off before that crucial information. I pretty much just used my Uni Pin 05 and 03 throughout this spread, and used my brown and orange Sakura brush pens and the same colours from my Crelando brush pens to colour it all in. I tried to keep my brush strokes going in one direction to imply like the grain of the wood. And was I the only one that was taught in primary school that this is the correct way to colour in using pens? Is this a real thing? People who actually know art things, please let me know. Here is the final spread that I will be showing you. It is my pain and habit tracker page. I again decided to use the cursive font that I've been practicing for my headers. And for my pain tracker, I drew a pumpkin patch, with each pumpkin segment being a day, because I really didn't fancy drawing 31 pumpkins. For my habit trackers, I decided to draw gravestones and write epitaphs for each habit I wanted to track. And despite this being somewhat morbid, I had a lot of fun doing it. Especially with the Korean study stone, since I've been really awful lately about actually sitting down and practicing, so writing RIP Korean study made me laugh a lot to myself. I wanted this page to look a lot like the garden leading up to the house, as if you've reached the boarded up door, realised you can't get in that way, and so you turn around and look back towards the gate. Not that you'd let a boarded up door stop you though, right? I used my Uni Pin Fine Liners for the majority of the line work, and then went back in with my Sakura Pigma 08 pen to thicken up the lines. I wanted to try and make it look like the habit tracker title was part of the ironwork fence and gates, and that it was sort of growing up out of it. So here's the final flip through. We have my title and quote page, my monthly overview page, my goals and project tracker page, and my pain and habit tracker page. Thank you for watching, dear friends. Feel free to give it a like if you enjoyed it, and if you're new here, feel free to subscribe so we can hang out some more. I have lots more videos planned for 2020 that aren't just bullet journal videos. And wait, did you just hear that?